Have you ever had a dream so big, so wild, that it felt completely impossible? A dream you were almost afraid to say out loud because it sounded crazy? I know I have. And for a long time, I let that feeling of impossibility keep me stuck. But today, I want to share a story with you, a true story that completely changed how I see the world and the power we have to shape our own reality. It's the story of a man named Alex, and his dream was simple yet seemed like years away. Alex grew up in a small, forgotten town where opportunities were scarce. His family had lived there for generations, working in the local factory that had long since closed down. The town carried a heavy air of resignation, a feeling that this was all life had to offer, but Alex had a fire in him. He was a gifted artist, and his dream was to become a renowned animator, to work for one of the biggest animation studios in the world. To his friends and family, it was like saying he wanted to be the first person to walk on Mars. They'd pat him on the back and say, "That's nice, Alex, but you need a real job." For years, Alex believed them. He took odd jobs, repaired things, and helped around town. He was good at it, but his soul felt like it was slowly dimming. Every night, he'd sketch in his old notebook, creating worlds and characters that lived only on paper. The gap between his reality and his dream felt like a giant, uncrossable canyon. He was drowning in self-doubt, constantly hearing a voice in his head telling him he wasn't good enough, that he didn't have the right connections, the right education, or the right address. He was just a small town guy with a silly dream. One rainy afternoon, while clearing out his grandfather's attic, he stumbled upon a dusty old box. Inside were journals filled with his grandfather's elegant handwriting. He had never known his grandpa to be a writer. As he read, he discovered his grandfather had dreamed of being an architect, designing grand buildings that would touch the sky. He had filled pages with intricate drawings and beautiful designs. But he never pursued it. He stayed, worked at the factory, and raised his family. The last entry Alex read was, "I wonder what could have been if I had just dared to try." Those words hit Alex like a lightning bolt. He saw his own future in his grandfather's past. He saw a life of quiet regret, of wondering what if, at that moment, something shifted inside him. It wasn't just about wanting to be an animator anymore. It was about honoring the unspoken dreams of his grandfather. It was about breaking a cycle. He decided he would not wonder what if. He would find out. This is where the magic of manifestation really begins. And it's not about just wishing for something and expecting it to appear. It's about a fundamental shift in your mindset and your actions. Alex made a conscious choice. He decided to believe in his dream if it were already a fact. He stopped saying, "I want to be an animator." He started saying, "I am an animator." He didn't just say it. He started to live it. His tiny bedroom transformed into a mini studio. He spent every spare cent he had on a second-hand computer and animation software. He devoured every free tutorial online, staying up until 3 a.m., practicing, learning, and creating. His friends thought he'd lost his mind. "Why are you working so hard on this stuff? No one's going to see it," they'd say. But Alex wasn't doing it for them. He was doing it for himself. He was aligning his actions with his belief. He created a vision board, a classic but powerful tool. On it, he pinned the logo of his dream studio. He printed out pictures of the city where it was located. He even wrote himself a fake offer letter, signed it, and pinned it to the board. Every morning, he would look at that board and feel the excitement, the pride, the joy of having already achieved his goal. He wasn't just looking at pictures, he was training his brain to accept this as his reality. He was generating the feeling of success before it even happened. This is a key part of manifesting. You have to feel it. You can't just think, "I want to be successful." You have to embody the feeling of success. How would a successful animator walk, talk, think? Alex started carrying himself with more confidence. When people asked what he did, he stopped mumbling about odd jobs. He'd look them in the eye and say, "I'm an animator." Of course, it wasn't all smooth sailing. He faced hundreds of rejections. He created a short animated film, his masterpiece, and sent it to every festival and studio he could find. Most didn't even reply. The old doubts started creeping back in. That negative voice got louder. "See, we told you. You're just a small town nobody." There were days he wanted to smash his computer and give up. But every time he felt that way, he'd go back to his vision board. He'd read his grandfather's journal. He remembered the feeling of regret he was so desperate to avoid. He realized that rejection was just part of the process. It wasn't a sign that he should stop. It was a test of how badly he wanted it. He chose to see every no not as a failure, but as feedback. He analyzed his work, identified weaknesses, and went back to the drawing board, even more determined. He started networking online, joining forums, and connecting with other aspiring artists. He shared his work, gave feedback, and supported others. He wasn't just trying to take from the world, he was contributing to it. He was creating value, and by doing so, he was unknowingly opening doors. Through one of these forums, an independent game developer saw his work and hired him for a small freelance project. It didn't pay much, but it was a professional credit. It was proof he was officially a paid animator. This small win fueled his fire like nothing else. He put that same energy and passion into the small project as he would have for his dream studio. A year went by. He had built a small portfolio of freelance work. He was better, faster, and more confident. He decided it was time to take another shot at the big dream. He polished his best work into a new demo reel. He wrote a cover letter, but this time it was different. It wasn't a desperate plea for a job. It was a confident introduction from one professional to another. He shared his passion, his journey, and what he could bring to their team. He sent the email and then he let it go. He didn't obsessively check his inbox. He trusted the process. He had done the work, aligned his belief with his actions, and now he released his intention to the universe. 2 weeks later, an email landed in his inbox. The subject line was the name of his dream studio. His heart pounded in his chest. It was an invitation for a video interview. He nailed it. He spoke with a passion and confidence that was undeniable. He wasn't just a guy looking for a job. He was an animator who had found his calling. A week later, the official offer letter arrived. It looked almost identical to the fake one he had pinned on his vision board a year and a half earlier. Reading it, tears streamed down his face. They weren't just tears of joy. They were tears of recognition. He hadn't just gotten lucky. He had willed this into existence. He had taken an impossible dream and, through unwavering belief, relentless action, and a deep internal shift, made it his reality. Alex's story isn't about magic wands or wishful thinking. It's a testament to the power of human intention. It's about deciding what you want, believing you are worthy of it, and then taking inspired, consistent action until your outer world matches your inner vision. The universe doesn't give you what you want, it gives you who you are. So I ask you again, what is your impossible dream? Maybe it's time to stop calling it impossible. Maybe it's time to start calling it your future. Start by believing. Start by acting as if. Start today. Create your vision, feel the success in your bones, and don't let anyone, especially yourself, tell you it can't be done. Your reality is waiting for you to create it. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content to help you build your best life. I'd love to hear about your dreams in the comments below. Let's support each other. Until next time, believe in your power.